It's a first-class organization, and with what they're doing at the high school, this place is going to be, it's going to be first building, and what we're going to be able to do with the locker room situation. But we built some lockers, and I want to go ahead and mention these guys real quick. Nick Chambers, Jack White, Bubba Haney, Jerry Chambers, Jim Reinhardt, Blake Roberts, Danny Parker, Jody Jackson, Zach Mayo, Aaron Doster, Chris Malcolm, Tyler Barton, Bruce Doster, Michael Young, and Randy Skipper. These guys got in there with 1025, and they have done an amazing job to kind of foresee this thing and kind of get it going. But I do want to mention, and I'd like him to come up here. I have something for you, but Tim Morris, if you wouldn't mind coming up. Tim, are you here? Come on up. Listen, this guy right here, he was instrumental with the locker room, and he got this thing going. We kind of had a blueprint. He put it together, and he's kind of the mastermind behind all this stuff. I mean, I couldn't thank him enough for the things he did, but I just want to give him something and just show him our gratitude from Monroe area football. Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, I have another helmet I need to give out. Jacob Wilcox, I know you don't want to come up here, but come on up. Listen, I couldn't do it without this guy. You know, he's quiet behind the scenes, but I tell you what, you talk about a man of integrity, you don't get much better than him. He's a guy that loves what he does, and he's made our program just a better place. He brings value to our program, and I couldn't be any happier that he's our Boost Club president. So I appreciate it. Thanks. Also, Alan Freeman is my brother-in-law, but he came with me from Collins Hill. He's our quality control person. He takes care of everything on Friday night, gets it together, deals with the officials, deals with the ball boys, puts everything out on the field, gets the field going like it needs to be. He knows what I need because he's been doing it with me for so long. But Alan, I appreciate everything you do for us. Also, Randy McCullough, listen, I think we got the best voice of the Canes. Nothing's better than when it's 55 to nothing. I love it. I love to hear that nothing. I wish I could hear it every week. But he has done an amazing job. He is a Monroe guy. He's probably one of our biggest fans, and he's a positive guy. So if we lose or do something like that, he's always like, yeah, but Coach, we were right there. We're going to grow from this. And I appreciate everything you do, Rusty. You do an amazing job, so thanks for that. Also, Jeff Traub, like I said, our team doctor. And, you know, our pregame meals, Brother Tommy, you know, they come over. They actually do our concession stand, 1025. So you look at all the value, and I love people that bring value to our program, but they do all our concession stand. That means they work the concession stand. Parents don't have to do that. And they come over and do that thing. They do all the pregame meals. I don't have to send our kids out and go to this place or that church or whatever. They come and they take care of it and bring it right to us. Every week. No questions asked. And if I asked him, Brother Tommy, I want you know, prime rib, he'd bring me prime rib. Steak, anything. He would take, now he might scratch his head and say, well, you know, I hope he doesn't ask me that every week, but whatever I ask him to do, he makes sure he takes care of it. And I just want to thank all the people that are involved in you know, the concession stand and doing our pregame meals. I do appreciate that. And last but not least, you know, Candace, where you at, Candace? She is my aunt. Candace, done, okay. Candace, you know, if you're on Facebook, then you're probably getting about 900 pictures a game. And if you are you know, have a son on the football team, she's going to get a picture of you. And she does an amazing job and gets all that stuff. A lot of the pictures that I have that I'm able to put up in the weight room and all that, I get directly from her. And she doesn't ask a dime. She just loves to be out there and be part of something that she believes in. So, Candace, I do appreciate all that too. All right, real quick, I want to break down the season, and then we'll jump right into the awards. I went ahead and went back and looked at everything, okay? I know we were 6-6, and I know the year before that we were 11-1. You know, we actually got up to rank #1 in the state last year, but we lost in the second round to Peach County. So one thing I wanted to do is I wanted to up our schedule. I wanted to play tougher competition. Now, I did not realize that, and I did the homework, that the 5 teams that we lost to in the regular season would be 61-3, okay? So the teams we lost to in the regular season had a combined record of 61-3, or 61-4. You know, you take the first game, which I don't even want to mention that team because I hate them so bad, but you take that first game and we go in 4 overtimes. We have a penalty here. We end up tying up the game in the 4th overtime. And, you know, it's just one of those crazy things. And we were missing a bunch of kids for that game. You know, you look at the Gainesville game. Gainesville plays for a state title, plays you know, a team that was probably one of the best teams in the state. I think they were ranked like, Langston Hughes was ranked like 30th in the country, and Gainesville almost beat them. And here they are playing for a state title. And this is another team that we play in the regular season. And then you got Prince Avenue. You can say whatever you want to. They're a single-A program, but they can get whoever they want in their program. They can go out and recruit. I can't go out and recruit. And they have Division I, 4-star, 3-star guys on their football team, and we should have beat them. So there's 3 of our losses. Then we have Stevens County, and we're tied Stevens County, and we break off a run. Big Man breaks off a run for a first down, and we're about the 45-yard line, tied up 24-24. And we ended up having a penalty or something happen, and it brings us back. And we got a punt to them, and they kick with no time left on the clock to win the ball game, and they win the region. And then we have the Oconee game, which we beat them last year. That's a 50-50 game. They've got great talent, great coaches, and it just came down to they won the ball game. Those were our 5 losses. We have a very good football team. But in order to be a great, great football team, you've got to play talent like that. And you have to play a tough schedule. And that's what we did. And people sit there and look, well, Coach, y'all had a down year. I don't look at it like that. We played in the second round of the state playoffs to a team that played for a state championship the year before. And the first game we played was Dawsonville. They were a 1 seed. They were 9-1. 9-1 in their region. You know, had been ranked, and we beat their eyes in. So we have a very good football team. Our record might have been 6-6, but if we would have played the schedule that we had played the other 5 years I've been here, we'd have been 9-1, 8-2, maybe 10-0 in a regular season. So don't look at this season as being a disappointment. It was a tough schedule. It was one of the toughest schedules, and I came from Collins Hill, a 7A program, that I've ever played. And the other thing is, we got the same schedule again next year, but I'm looking forward to it. But I tell you, I was proud of our kids. I found a lot of things about some kids that really performed well. Some guys that might have been backups a year before that really came through and you know, made it an enjoyable year. And we were this close because we ended up tying it up 18-18 with Carver of Atlanta, and I thought we were going to win the football game. We were that close. And then we have a fumble here, and they pick up a fumble and run it in for a touchdown, and it's just the way it works sometimes. Sometimes the ball bounces this way, sometimes it bounces that way. And that night, it just did not bounce our way. But I wanted to let you know that we did finish as region runner-up. We finished, even though we were the 4 seed, we finished as region runner-up. I'm just not a very good flipper, okay? When I had to go with the other 2 teams to flip the coin, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm going to bring somebody else that I know is going to have a little better job flipping the coin, because I've done it twice, and both times I've lost. But that's how they go ahead and seed who the runner-up was, 3 seed and 4 seed. It just came down to a flip. If we would have gotten the 3rd seed, if Stevens County had beaten Hebron like they should have, we'd have finished as the 3rd, and we would have played in the semifinals this past year. Where Oconee was, if we would have been in that same, I think we'd have played in the semifinals. But it's all about luck, where you fall in the draw, and we just kind of fell in a tough draw second round. But I wanted to let you know that I felt like we had a really good year. I know our record is not like it has been the last 5 years, but we didn't play a schedule like we did this past year. That was a tough schedule. And I was proud of our boys for what they did. All right, next thing, we're going to go ahead and keep this thing rolling on. I'm going to go ahead and introduce a group of boys that do an amazing job that we have to have. I talk about us having a first-class organization. We got a first-class organization because even our ball boys are well-coached, and they know exactly what they're supposed to do. So, Grant Williams, if you'll come on up, Bailey Reach, Bryce Williams, and Braden Connor, if y'all can come up. I know Braden's not here today, but if y'all can come up for us. Hey, stand right here. Stand right. Candace wants to get a picture. But these are our ball boys. Let's give it up for our ball boys. All right, I'm going to call Coach Lipe up. He's going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the managers and give them some things.
As Coach Reed said, my name is Coach Lipe. I'm the athletic trainer, and I have the pleasure of working with your kids every day. Before we talk about the managers, I've told Coach Reach this, Benji, we had a good group of kids this year, and that is a reflection of you as parents, and it really makes what we do a joy and a pleasure. So, being a manager is a thankless job most of the time. I don't think we thank these girls enough for what they do for us. We ask a lot of them, and they work hard. They have good attitudes. They cheer our team on Friday nights, and they're as big a part of a team as anybody. So first, we want to recognize Brooke Reach. Havana Harris. Lexi Richardson. Willow McElroy. And Ariel Ivy. Thank you guys for all you do, and I appreciate you more than you know.
let's give it up for the managers. And I'm going to have Coach Brown come up and hand out kickers. Now, how we do this is if you're a first-year letterman, I'll give you your letter and you'll get a football. If you're a second-year letterman, you get a bar. Third-year letterman, you get a gold star. Fourth-year letterman, you get a gold star or a silver star, just depending on if you're a team captain or not. Okay, but that's how we do this.
So, for those of you that don't know me, my name's Coach Brown. I'm the kicking coach. I'm not sure if any of my guys are here. I know some of them one was out of town, one had a prior obligation. But this year was pretty cool. We had two decided not to come back, so I went and got a kid off the soccer team randomly that had never done it before, and it turned out that he ended up playing a big role for us. So the three we had this year were Ricky Valdivinos, Colton Sargent, and Tyler Trammell.
Okay, next up will be Coach Connor with the quarterbacks.
As Coach said, I'm of course the offensive coordinator, and I coach quarterbacks, and these young men done a wonderful job putting up with me. This first young man was our starting quarterback, Jeremiah Anderson. Next we'll have Bodie Bell. Dawson Melchior. Or Melchior. Melchior, yeah. And then Dylan Hamby.
All right, let's give it up for the quarterbacks. Okay, Coach Woodall, we'll talk about receivers.
Like Coach said, I'm Coach Woodall. I coach the receivers. I'll start with our underclassmen first and go up from there. I will say I'm excited about this underclassmen group. There's a lot of great potential, and I'm excited to see how they grow and develop over the next several years. The first one is Andrew Chappelle. Parker Sims. Kenzai Battle. Isaiah Roberts. Slade Summers. Now I'll go to our upperclassmen. We had 3 seniors this year. Been with them for 2 years. I'm very thankful for them. They've truly grown on and off the field, and that's a big testament to them and the way they develop. So I am excited about them, hate losing them, but they're just, overall, they're just great young men, and I'll miss them. The first one is Jatavius Bird. J.D. Flood. And then Jeremy Anderson. These are your 2022 wide receivers.
I'm Brandon Mahan, and this is Michael Young. We coach offensive line at Monroe. We love our job. I'm going to call out the same order that Coach Woodall did. I'm going to go young guys first. I got William Carr. Colton Brewer. Joel Hitson. Dropped your Nathan Morris. Michael Clay. Wayne Bearfield. William Cartrette. Luke Skelton. This next one couldn't be here tonight. He had a church function he was going to, but I wanted to mention Brennan Spratlin. Max Thurston. Jacob Shelton. Tyler Jackson. And Cam Connor. I did want to mention tight ends. Don't worry, you're coming later. Sometimes they tight ends get lumped in with linemen or backs, and I saw some tight ends looking around, getting a little antsy. You're going to get honored. So, anyway, these are our offensive line.
Hey, I'm Coach Michael Young. I also coach tight ends and fullbacks along with the offensive line. So I got Noah Peters. Luke Butler. Brian Powell. Miles McCullough. And Elijah Ray.
Good? No. All right, got you. Appreciate you. Let's give it up. Yeah, give it up for them boys.
My name is Kyle Hamby. I coach running backs. Got a very talented group. Got a lot of very talented younger guys that are
coming up. And I love this group because they're selfless. A lot of people think running backs, they want the yards, touchdowns, la-da-da. They want to be in the game all the time. But this year I saw each one of my running backs, whenever somebody does something good, they were always there to congratulate the other guy. And that's something I was very proud of. But looking forward for some big things from these younger guys that I'm going to call out first, and then we'll get to the older ones. Jit Carr. Simeon Hodge. Darian Flash Manuel. Little A, Alan Jones Jr. Now, one last thing I want to say, and it's one of the things we always talk about. Out of these guys that are up here right now, not one fumble all year long, and that makes me, I'm very proud of that.
Little A's a 4-year letterman. Alan Jones. Let's give it up for the running backs. Okay, next up are defensive backs.
Good afternoon, evening. So, I'm Coach Tony. I coach the defensive backs. And this group, we're still really young, growing, learning a lot. And the perks of being a defensive back coach is you get to be a defensive back coach. There are not really many perks on the defensive side. You either get your job done or you don't. And when you don't, well, good luck. But we've got some great guys, a lot coming back. I mean, pretty much all the guys are coming back, so that's a lot of pluses there. Start with young and get to the guys who are getting older. Dre is getting a lot older. Deshaun Little. CJ Wilburn. Garrett Powell. Drew Tech. Charles Manga. Russell Hunley. Blake Rathfield. Damon Owens. Jay Bird. Dre Newell. Jalarion Crawford. And last but not least, the leadest of them all, Zillion Hammond. This is your 2022-23 DB group.
All right, I'm Coach Thurston. I coach linebackers. And this year's linebackers, Isaiah Delaney. Dawson Eichel. Butkus. Bryson Moses. Kevon Durham. Marion Stryker. And then our last one, Jakari Jones. I think all the stadiums know him as Jackarai, because I've never heard his name pronounced correctly ever. These are your linebackers. All right, let's go.
All right, I'm Brandon Priest, and this is Kyle Williams. We've got defensive line. We're going to start with Dacion Day Davis. Brody Weldon. Not here. Ricky Robbins. Brandon Green. Told you they're bright. They're bright. I know. I told her. The lights are bright. All right, now these next four, we're gonna miss. Tyler Manuel. Joey Crawford. Hayden Burr. And Little Larry Crawford. Come on, my foot ain't broke no more. Let's go. All right, this is your 2022-2023 defensive lineman.
Hey, Coach, I'm gonna let Benji. Just go ahead. Thank you.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Benji Cash. I have the privilege of serving on staff with NG3 and get to hand out this year's Character Award. Each year, Coach Reach and I, we observe the senior class, and we look for the individual and the senior on the team that year that we believe just exhibits high character, high values, young man that whether he's playing or whether he doesn't get to play much, shows up every day, he works hard, he's respectful, he's a good teammate. He's honorable and listens to the coaches and the officials and everybody. And so this young man is one that I'm very fond of, one that I believe exhibits all these things to a very, very high level. And so this year's Character Award with a $500 scholarship goes to Jatavius Bird.
All right, the next awards we'll be giving out are the, if you made all region, or you made all county, or you made Recruit Georgia all state, or you made AJC, Atlanta Journal-Constitution all state, we want to go ahead and honor you and recognize you. So when I call your name, just come up, and we're going to have a bunch of them because there's a lot of people that made a lot of teams. But just come up, stand up here, and I'm just going to start handing these out, okay? So when you hear your name, just come up. All right, all region, Brandon Green. All region, Kenzai Battle. All region, William Cartrett. All region, Eli Ray. All region, Alan Jones. Guys, y'all can come up this way if you want, just to make it quicker. All region, Larry Crawford. All region, Zillion Hammond. Okay, these are the recipients for all region and all county. All county, all region, Kayvon Truck Durham. All region, all county, Blake Raffield. All-County, All-Region, Cameron Connor. All-County, All-Region, Darion Manuel Flash. All-County, All-Region, Ricky Robbins. All-County, All-Region, Max Thurston. All-County, All-Region, Russell Hunley. All-County, All-Region, J.B. Flood. All-County, All-Region, Jeremy Anderson. I told you it's a lot of awards. All-County, All-Region, Jeremiah Anderson. All-County, All-Region, Defensive Player of the Year, Jakari Jones. All right, let's give it up for the All-County, All-Region. All right, got a few more awards. Hold up, guys, got a few more. This is probably as many as we've had for the Recruit Georgia, but we do have a few All-State kids here that either made first team or made honorable mention, but Recruit Georgia All-State first team, Max Thurston. Recruit Georgia All-State first team, Jakari Jones. Recruit Georgia All-State honorable mention, Jeremiah Anderson. Recruit Georgia All-State honorable mention, Russell Hunley. Recruit Georgia All-State honorable mention, Darion Manuel Flash. And then Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the way they do this is they only have one team, and you only have like 3 linebackers, you got 1 quarterback, you got 1, but we did have a AJC, Atlanta Journal-Constitution All-State linebacker, Jakari Jones. One more time, let's give it up for all these award winners. Okay, these next 2 awards, now, this is not selected by the coaches, this is just mainly by whether you win it or you don't win it, okay? The first one is the Defensive Total Award. What we do is we've got a program that we do that if how many tackles, interceptions, sacks, tackles for loss, fumble recoveries, interceptions, touchdowns, defensive touchdowns, pass breakups, all this stuff is formulated. We have a formula and we break it down. And then at the end of the season, we take the person with the most totals and points, and then they are our defensive point leader for the year. So this year, defensive point leader, Jakari Jones. The other award we give out each year is called the Hammer Award. What we do is each week, Coach Mahan will come in, we'll, as a staff, we'll decide on who had the big hit. It could be an offensive lineman, it could be a receiver. We've even had it where it's been our quarterback before coming in and making a big hit on a block. But we get together, we find out who had the big hit that week, then we get together and find out who had the most Hammer Awards for the year, and this year the Hammer Award goes to Russell Hunley. Okay, the last award before we get into our accolades as far as most valuable receivers and all that stuff, we do give out this award. This is a Play of the Year award. We sat down as a staff and decided this. If you are involved in this play, that means you actually were a reason why this play worked. Sometimes it's a quarterback or receiver, sometimes it's the guy blocks a punt and a person runs it in for a touchdown. They both will receive the award. But our Play of the Year, we're playing Hart County. Hart County at one time during the year was ranked in the state. We knew going into the season that Hart County had a heck of a football team. And if we don't beat Hart County, finding out now after Hebron beat Stevens County, we don't beat Hart County, we don't make the playoffs. So at the time, we did not realize how important that game was. Afterwards, after we beat Hart County, we went back and looked and said, I'm glad we won, because if not, we would not have made the playoffs. But anyway, our Play of the Year was, the score was still close enough. They had the ball, they were driving, they got the ball down to about the 2-yard line, ran the ball up the middle, and Jakari Jones and Russell Hundley hit the ball carrier coming off the edges. The ball spit up, bounced, and Blake Radfield caught it on one bounce and went 100 yards for a touchdown. So I went back and looked at the record books, whatever records they had kept up with, but that was the longest touchdown in school history, was Russell Hundley's touchdown. But I'd like to give the Play of the Year award to Jakari Jones, Russell Hundley, and Blake Radfield. Okay, Coach Brown will come up. We're going to zip through our awards here. We got Special Teams Award, and Coach Brown will be handing that out. Academic Award will be Coach Carter. He'll be up next. Can you do it?
Yes, so I have the honor of doing the Special Teams Award as I did last year. Being the kicking coach, obviously Special Teams has a near and dear place to my heart. It's where I spend all my time working. When we think of kids that we want to coach, there's a lot of different words that come to mind. And one of the first things that always comes to my mind is consistency. All right, we want a kid that is consistent in the classroom, consistent in the weight room, consistent on the practice field as well as on the game field. And we have one kid that plays just about every special teams for us that is probably the most consistent. I don't think I would get any argument from any player or coach on this team about that. Me being a kicking coach, my guys wouldn't get to do what they do if not for this kid. We all love coaching him, and we're expecting a lot of big things from him next year. So our Special Teams Award goes to Dylan Hamby.
All right, let's give it up for Dylan. All right, Coach Carter would be giving this out, but he actually had knee replacement, and I'm not going to ask him to come up here. And but I'm going to go ahead and give out the academic award now. And nothing against this, because I know this is a smart kid, but when Coach Connor and I got together and we're going through the grades to find out who actually had the highest GPA, it's not that I was shocked. Trust me, I was not shocked, because I know he's a smart kid, but it kind of shows what kind of character this young man has. He's not only a great football player and a great athlete, but his academics mean a lot to him too. And I am honored to go ahead and hand out the 2022 Academic Award to Alan Jones.
Good job, Alan. Our next award is the Most Improved Offensive Player Award. And last year with this player, it was a toss-up every practice for me whether he was going to be there or not. He was a freshman. He was learning what it takes to play on this level. And I talked to him in the offseason. I said, look, if you're going to be the kind of football player that I know you can be, and I could see it in him, I said, you're going to have to come. You're going to have to be here every day. You're going to have to buy in. And it started in the summer, and he was there every day. And he never missed a practice during the season, I don't think. And ended up 2 or 3 games into the season, we're like, I know he's a sophomore. We've got to start this kid because he's our best guy at that position. And we put him in there. He did not let us down. He played great. Played honorable mention, all region, and has exceeded our expectations. So, most improved, William Cartret. And we know the best is in the future with this one. The next award is the Most Valuable Offensive Lineman Award, and this was really a hard one for us to figure out because we had a whole lot of, the offensive line there's more offensive linemen on the field at any time during a game than any other position. So there's a lot of guys to choose from. And luckily here at Monroe, we've been blessed with a lot of good ones. So we had to look at it all and narrow it down. And I had to go with the guy who has been in the middle, calling it all out for us for a long time now. I can't even remember Monroe, I don't think, before he was here. But he's been that cog in the middle for us that he makes sure everybody else is doing what they're supposed to. And he's very solid for us. We're going to miss him. He'll be hard to replace. Cam Connor. Camo.
I will be introducing the wide receiver, most valuable wide receiver this year, and we actually have 2. We could not decipher, or pick which one. Both of these guys are 2- and 3-year starters for us. This past year, they combined for over 1,100 yards receiving, 7 touchdowns, and both of these guys will have the opportunity to play college football, which says a lot about them as far as their academics go and things like that. Your 2022-2023 wide receivers of the year are Jeremy Anderson and J.B. Flood.
I'll be handing out Most Valuable Running Back Award. You know, at the start of the season, we thought, we had a guy returning 1,500 yards last year and gets banged up the first game, going both ways, and we're trying to figure out, man, you got to replace that somehow. And I knew the kid. I've been knowing him since he was this tall, and that's one of the privileges I get from coaching some of y'all growing up and all that stuff. And so, he comes in that first game and just gives us a spark, and next thing you know, he's rushed for 735 yards, 13 touchdowns. And I think combined they ran for over 1,300, 1,400 yards. So that all kind of stayed there. And so this year, our Most Valuable Running Back, some folks call him Darion, some folks call him Lightning. I just call him Flash. Darion Flash Manuel.
I'm Coach Williams. I had the opportunity, like Coach Priest said, to help him out coaching the defensive line this year. I'm going to give out the most improved defense. Again, this is we've got two guys that are going to get this award today, a lot of guys to pick from. Both these guys that we're going to recognize here, their roles were kind of minimal at the beginning of the year, and then by the end of the season, both these guys were really, really important part of what we were doing defensively. They're both coming back. And we're excited to see what the future holds for these two guys. First one, Day Davis. Big day, and the other most improved defense goes to Charles Mango. Good job, brother. Good job, Bennett. Do it.
So I get the privilege of giving out the award for Most Valuable Defensive Back. And this young man, he just works hard. When he comes downhill, just know he's going to bring a hammer. He just gets the job done in all capacities. And even as we were just trying to figure out different things this year on our defense, this young man ended up changing his position later on, and I mean, it really fit him. It fit him probably better than the initial position that he was playing earlier in the year. And he kind of showed out, got to hit a lot more people in that position than the one that he was already in. And this Most Valuable Defensive Back award goes to Russell Hundley.
All right, I've got Most Valuable Defensive Lineman. This young man didn't really start with me. He started as a linebacker out of necessity. We kind of moved him down. Later in the year, he got to go back to where he wanted to be. But finished the year with 74 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, average 6.2 tackles per game. Your most valuable defensive lineman, Ricky Robbins.
This year, this young man, he grew as the season went along, got better every game, tough-nosed, and the most valuable linebacker is Truck.
I'm going to give out our scout team awards, and guys, listen, you talking about a selfless, thankless job. To have to come in, run another team's offense or defense for the week, learn that and still do your job, and get beat up on by the bigger, stronger varsity kids. In a lot of the cases, it went the other way with these two. We have two guys that we're going to give this award out to, and I'm looking for huge things from them next year and in the future, but them two Carr boys, Jit and William Carr.
Give it up.
Is that what's up next? I thought it was, I thought it was Zillion. Okay, so yeah.
All right, next award is going to be the Coaches Award, and I kept going back and forth. I've got, I had two people in mind, and I kept saying, I don't know who to give it to, so I've actually got two. The first one I'm going to be handing out is a young man that I know he probably sometimes doesn't think I like him, because I am hard on him. I ride him all the time, but I do love him. I do love him. I think he's a great kid, and I think he's got a bright future. I think he's got great social skills, and he's one of the toughest kids, just through and through, one of the toughest kids that I've ever coached in 34 years. You know, I expect great things from him. He also plays another sport, and when I say that I'm tough on him, I am. I want him to succeed and be the very best he can. And I hope he knows that. It's not because I don't dislike him, it's because I do love him and I want him to be the very best he can. But our first Coaches Award goes to Zillion Hammond. My second Coaches Award, I just know this young man is going to be successful in life. Just like Zillion, he does have great social skills, and Anytime I ever asked him to do something, he did it. I don't care if it was, getting something done in the weight room, he did it. If I ever needed him to do something out on the field, he did it. It didn't matter if it was Sundays, Saturdays, Monday morning, it never failed. But he's not only a great football player, but he's a great young man. And like I said, I believe he's going to be very successful in life. He's got good folks that have raised him right, and at the same time, I just think that that he's going to end up being a fine young man. But Coach's Award, Eli Ray.
Coach, of the effort. Yeah, who's that?
Brandon, he's not here.
Okay, we do have an effort award that this young man, he told me, he said, Coach, I'm going to do everything I can to be here, but his family had already had this, and he told me this about a month ago, so I do know, but we do have an effort award that we do give out. It is going to Brennan Spratlin. He played offensive line for us, and he's a tough kid. His effort is great, and he ended up working his way into a starting position this past year. And he wanted me to tell you that he apologizes about not being here, but our effort award goes to Brennan Spratlin. Okay, next up will be the two-way player award. And I just want to say a few things about this because Coach Thurston is going to be handing this out. But this award to me, other than probably the most valuable player, I probably put as much stock into this award as any award that we hand out. I think the young man had a phenomenal season. He was the effort that he gave us, and first off, he never missed a practice. He never missed a workout. His off-season workout was unbelievable, but he is just a kid that is going to have a very bright future. But I look at this award as probably one of the most important awards that we give, this two-way award.
Two-way award goes to my son. Come here, Max. The one thing is, when I was Max's age, I was blessed to have my father as my head football coach. And it's probably one of the most enjoyable things I've been around. And I know I've talked with quite a few people out there where father-son issue on the ball field. I couldn't love it anymore with my father and also with my son. It's a privilege, and I'm blessed. And I appreciate Coach Reach looking the other way and hiring me. And congratulations, Max. Love you.
Okay, next up will be Coach Connor handing out the most valuable offensive award.
Like I said, I'm privileged to be the offensive coordinator here, and I've had some great athletes to work with, some excellent offensive line, but most importantly, I have some great coaches that are just phenomenal. But this is about the kids. And this young man who I'm going to present today had some big shoes to fill, but I'm not so sure that he couldn't have been the guy all along. I said that last year. He's extremely talented. Our offense this year, at his guidance, had over 4,600 yards of offense and averaged over 30 points a game again. And, he did a great job as QBR
was a 119, which is unbelievable. He should have had more touchdowns. I got to get with Coach Woodall about getting receivers not to get tackled at the 1 or 3 yard line. But he had 11 touchdown passes, 1,700 yards passing. It's 70% completion rate. But what separates that with a 70% completion rate is that he averaged 15 yards per pass or per catch, which is unbelievable when most people over 70 average about 7 to 8. So this young man, in other words, is a tremendous football player. He had 1,100 yards rushing. He was phenomenal for us. He would take over games for us. And against Carver, he showed grit and toughness and played unbelievable, really on one leg. It was unbelievable effort. And come on up, big man, our most valuable offensive player. Coach Tony will be handing out the Defensive Player Award.
So the Defensive Player Award goes to probably the scrawniest guy playing defense, but somehow, some way, this guy will just blow somebody's head off if they just underestimate him. And yet somehow he will also pick up a ball that's lying on the ground after guys like Russell and Jakari have done all the dirty work and take it back for himself for a 100-yard touchdown. So this award goes to Blake Ratfield.
All right, our last award before I hand out the captain's awards and then the senior awards. This is our most valuable player. I've had the opportunity to really get to know him the last 4 years. You know, when he was a sophomore, he didn't start. His brother was a starter. Brother played running back, and this young man was, you know, on the JV, and he was playing behind a senior. And you know, we always felt like he was going to be a good player, but we didn't know how good he was going to be. And then it's funny because some athletes, I say that, you know, some of them are T-shirt All-Americans when you don't have the pads on and you're doing things like that, you can be a great player, but when the bullets are flying and you're in there and the lights are on you, some people just perform a little differently. And as a sophomore, he came in and he had an amazing season as a sophomore towards the end of the year. And, you know, he was a big reason why our defense played so well. And he came back his junior year, and, you know, we knew he was going to be a good player, but we didn't realize how good he was going to end up being. And he ended up making, you know, All-State with his brother. You know, they both were All-State players last year. And he just kept getting better. And I saw him in the weight room, and I saw him, the kind of things that he did outside of school. You know, he wasn't only putting the time and work into it at school, but he was, you know, taking time outside of school to be the very best he can be. And I just started seeing him climb. And his leadership role, he wasn't a big talker, but he showed it out there on the field. I mean, he showed it with his pads and his helmet. And he came into a senior year this year, and he ended up leading the state in total tackles. He ended up having 168 total tackles. In his 2 years as a starter, I think he ended up having 7 or 8 blocked punts. You know, you talk about bringing value to a program. Not only did he have 160 some odd tackles, but he ended up having like 4 or 5 blocked punts this year. And he is a selfless player. I moved him over to the offensive side to play tight end, and you know, he had probably one of the best catches I've seen all year at tight end. And we became a better football team because we moved him over to the offensive side. And he just had a phenomenal career here at Monroe area. And he is going to play college football, there's no doubt in my mind. I know he's had some offers. And he is the epitome of what we do look for here at Monroe, in the classroom, in the weight room, and on the football field. But I am honored and privileged to hand out the Most Valuable Player 2022 Monroe Area Football, Jakari Jones. One more time. All right, I'm going to talk real quick about him. Y'all just kind of come up when I call your name. First captain, I've already talked about him today, but what we do as a captain is, at the beginning of the year, based on what they do in the offseason. So you guys that are juniors right now, I'm already making a list of who is going to be that leader that I'm looking for during the offseason, during the summertime, being there on time, all the little things that go along with it. This first one, I always did the things I needed to, but our first captain is Eli Ray. Our second captain this year for 2022, Jakari Jones. Our third captain, who ended up having, I hadn't had a chance to really talk about him, but he is a phenomenal athlete. Like I said, he was an all-state kid last year. Ended up getting hurt this year, hurt his ankle. And I know that if he was healthy, there's no doubt in my mind that he would have been all-region, all-county, probably all-state again. But due to his injury, he kind of opened the doors for some other people. But he still gutted it out and ended up playing, defensive back for us. But Alan Jones. Coach Connor talked about him. I just want to say a few things about this young man. It's amazing how much he grew up from his freshman and sophomore year to his senior year. He did a phenomenal job for us. He is a great athlete. I tell you, his mother has done a great job with both of her sons and raising them right and keeping them on track. And he just had a phenomenal season for us. But our other captain is Jeremiah Anderson. This next captain, he started out the season, it's amazing that he probably was one of the hardest workers we had. I actually made him a captain during the off-season. And the time and the effort that he was putting into it, I was just so pleased with where he was. And then he ended up having appendicitis and being out for about 2 or 3 weeks. And his first game back was the Gainesville game, and ended up having a phenomenal game at the Gainesville game. But we were going to have him as a two-way player, but based on that injury that he had, we had to kind of move him just to the one side. But he really had a good season for us, and I believe that he will play college football and have the opportunity to do that. Larry Crawford. Our last captain that I'm going to honor is, he's in the middle. He plays a position that not everybody wants to play because whether you know this or not, every single play, he has to hit somebody. So if we have 70 offensive plays, he's having to hit somebody on every single play. And you go back and you look at it, you got guards pulling, you got tackles pulling, tight ends, they might be going out for a pass, receivers, quarterbacks, running back, but that center has to hit every single play. And you have to be the quarterback on that offensive line because you're calling out Coach Mahan. It don't make it easy all the time. You have to call out the coverages, the defensive line setup, where they're going, and you have to know what you're talking about. You have to be a very smart player. But our other captain and our last captain, Cam Connor. All right, let's give it up for the 2022 Monroe Area Capitals. Thanks, guys. Okay, the last thing, Coach, if y'all can just come up and help me out here. I'm going to call you up. We do our senior awards. To be honest with you, I like doing this because this is something that you can hang up, put in your room, keep with you for the rest of your life. I know sometimes you have that jersey. I think I got my senior jersey when I was in high school, and I have no idea where it's at. But I do have that collage that my parents made me, and I sat there and said, you get more out of that than you do if you just have your jerseys. But jerseys nowadays are going like for $215 too, so there is a reason why we don't give out the jerseys, just to be honest. All right, but we're handing out our senior awards today, and our first one, number 1, J.B. Flood. Number 2, Jeremiah Anderson, big man. Number 3, Zillion Hammond. Number 5, Eli Ray. Number 6, Jakari Jones. Number 7, Alan Jones Jr. Number 12, Amarion Stryker. Number 14, Jalarion Crawford. Number 17, Jatavius Bird. Number 18, Jeremy Anderson Littleman. Number 21, and I really enjoyed having him this year, was a basketball kid, but he came out and did a great job for us, Dre Newell. Number 34 and 62, Larry Crawford. He got 2 numbers this year. Number 50, Cam Connor. I really enjoyed this young man too. He is a fine young man, and I'm going to hate to see him go. But he has also brought a lot of value to our program. Joey Crawford, 57. Number 60, Tyler Manuel. Another one here, he's been a 2-year player for us, was a baseball kid, but we've enjoyed having him. Tyler Jackson. Number 72, Hayden Burr. And this last young man, I just love him. I think he is going to be successful in life. He came over from Grayson, and I ask him all the time, I'd say, Jacob, are you glad you came? He said, Coach, I love it here at Monroe. I love it. I love my teammates, and he has done a great job for us, and hopefully he gets an opportunity to maybe play college football. But number 74, Jacob Shelton. One last time, let's give it up for our 2022 Senior Award winners.
I'm a goalie.
Hey, we'll go ahead and close. Just want to say a couple things before I go ahead and wrap up the season. Seniors, let me just tell you this. Guys, you're always welcome. I'll always keep my door open for you. I'd always love for you to come and be part of our football program, stand on the sidelines, give a word of encouragement to our underclassmen, because once you graduate and you're a senior and you play football here at Monroe area, you're always part of it. You're always part of the success and the things that we have going. Last thing, you underclassmen, you got some big shoes to fill. It's time to go ahead and get busy in the weight room, start thinking about what's your mark going to be, what's your season going to be, and where we're going to stand as far as Monroe area history. So do the things you need to. Start thinking about it now. Parents, thank you. I think this is this is my 34th year of teaching and coaching, and I've been in a lot of really good places, but I can honestly say, I tell my wife all the time, that this is the best place I've been as far as the parents and community, school, and as far as our kids, their work ethic and the things that you guys have instilled in them. I do appreciate that. But I'd like to close with saying, Brother Tommy, thank you. Parents, thank you. And players, thank you for a great season. Thank you.